Today we're going to talk about a really important topic that I work with a lot of leaders on, and that's how you show up with impact. Hi, I'm Paul Rosenberg and welcome to the Rogue Leadership Channel. Feel free to leave some comments and subscribe, and we're glad to have you with us today. Today I'd like to talk about something that is a conundrum for a lot of the leaders I work with. They're so focused on how they have impact and how they engage with their workforce and how they're messaging, and they're putting a lot of time and effort into it. And my view is this: we're going to talk about how to have that great impact without all the song and dance. You don't have to worry about that. Number one, be authentic. Being authentic means showing up as you are and letting your people understand who you are. As long as you're authentic, they're going to feel it, they're going to notice it, and it's going to resonate with them. The second thing I'd ask you to do is keep those interactions simple. What do I mean by that? I mean by being clear. Don't overcomplicate everything. Think about how you're messaging, the words you choose, and what you're leaving them with when you go on to the next meeting. Have that in mind before you even start. What do you want out of that conversation? What's the message you want to deliver? Now let me tell you a story about what not to do in this situation. I'd like to introduce you to a guy named George. George was the lead negotiator for the new contract, and then he moved from that position to leading a large group of people. Now, George already was coming with baggage. He was the negotiator, and he already had that reputation. And a lot of people already thought, oh my gosh, when this guy's coming, we know this guy, he's a real asshole. I was hired to coach George and his team. And one day I went up to his office and I asked him how it was going, and he said, Paul, it's just really unfair. I said, what's unfair? He said, everybody thinks I'm an asshole. You know, I have all this baggage from my other role. I feel like it's preventing me from progressing. And I offered a suggestion, let me go talk to the folks on the shop floor and I'll get back to you and see what's going on. So I spent a lot of time with the folks on the shop floor, and what they told me was really revealing. I asked them, have you personally met George? Most of them had not. Have you seen George? Most of them said just at the company luncheon when they were celebrating a holiday. I asked them, had any of them ever engaged one-on-one with him? Most of them had not. So George wasn't having an impact because he wasn't even present. So I went back upstairs and George said, what'd you find out? I said, there's an issue here. There's an issue, George. You're absolutely right. He goes, Paul, you gotta help me. How do I get them to stop thinking I'm an asshole? And I said, George, it's simple. Stop being an asshole. I want to remind everybody that you're in charge. If you don't like the story that's being told, change the story. You have that power to message differently, to communicate differently. You have the power to show up with impact differently. And if you do those things, if you understand that that's in your control, and you approach it with 1, authenticity, 2, clarity, and 3, being purposeful with an end in mind, you're going to do great things. Thanks so much for watching today, and we'll see you next time.